Thank you, and it's wonderful to be here. Our project at Hunter Institute is a project that's being developed for innovative learning. It's a federally funded project, $2.3 million from the last federal government, to do something different in the learning space. So what I'd like to talk to you about today, and because I don't have my PowerPoint, I'd like to try and set a visual experience for you, and I do have a YouTube as well, very short. So the idea with our research to commence this project was to have a look at what are the behaviours of learners in a digital environment, in the digital world. So if you can think about yourselves as learners, what do? You search for information, you curate it, you remix, you repurpose, and you share it with others. And in that process, you are communicating, interacting and engaging with people all over the world. So really learning is at your fingertips. So if you can think about learning of today and what is formal learning of today, and a classroom situation with a teacher up the front and all the chairs in a row. So that's our formal learning environment still at the moment. That's what our children are doing. And to a certain extent at universities and institutions of higher education. So they are really outmoded, industrialised notions of learning. And then what did we do? We went and transferred that to an online learning environment in the form of learning management systems. So hopefully you're with me at the moment. Has anyone ever done an online course? Yeah, okay. So you probably had a log on. You probably had that course delivered to you, so the content was pushed to you. You didn't have too much choice in how you might have engaged with others. And when you engaged with others, you probably engaged with them in the selected tool by your teacher or instructor. So that may have been a forum, that's the most common one. You may have used a blog as well. And I'm thinking at the end, you probably got some automated quiz that gave you a mark at the end. Am I close? Okay. So is that really the way that learning is in a digital age? Is that the way that learning should be? So in the process of learners gathering this information from the World Wide Web and putting it somewhere, where do they put it? Okay, and that is known as their personal learning environment. So if we link the two, formal education and institutions of higher education, what can we do with everybody's personal learning environment? So if we think about traditional environments and that they're outmoded, and we look for an aggregation space to offer our learners. But remembering not all our learners are digital natives. They don't all have skills. So we need to identify that and adjust to that as educators. So at one end of the spectrum, we will have a novice who may be an observer in a space such as a personal learning environment. They may have gone into a forum and watched what's going on there, but they may not have done too much about it. So they may not have contributed yet. So what we need to do is get them up to the independent stage where they're contributing and they're creating their own content and they're remixing content from others and resharing. So that is deep and rich learning, and that's what's happening out there. So we need to emulate that in our space. So what Hunter TAFE has done has incorporated the information and the knowledge of educators into a generic personal learning environment. That's what you're seeing on the screen at the moment. So what I'd like to show you now is our interpretation of a modern digital learning space.
A faster, more convenient way to learn. TAFE is an online environment for personal learning tailored tailored to suit your needs. High-speed broadband, bringing you a world of information. With high-speed broadband and the TAFE platform, you now have the access to high-definition resources, knowledge and expertise, helping you learn new skills, upskill or change your career direction. Try one of our free web mixes to experience how TAFE works. Once enrolled, each unit offers a page of learning resources known as a web mix. A web mix is an online interactive platform containing all your online educational assets. You can adjust your own personal web mix. You can receive web mixes that have already been tailored for a unit, and you can share yours with others. Harness the power of online interactive high-definition video streaming with TAFE's Boots platform to learn with others and mentors via web conferencing. It's your virtual classroom. TAFE links you with the broader social media platform. You can use Facebook to communicate with your mentor or other learners, tweet your learnings, or Skype to discuss projects. Use the Learner Guide blog to check course requirements or access the boot timetables. Through TAFE and WebMix, we're bringing learning to you, making education simpler, making education more convenient. Your progress is tangible through an assessment rubric, which will describe what you will need to gather to show evidence of competency for each unit. You choose what evidence you will gather to submit for assessment. Your mentor, education support officer and assessor can help you to make choices of suitable evidence. Through TAFE, a number of people will be available to support you during your study. A mentor, an education support officer, and the assessor will provide you with guidance and feedback along the way and review your final evidence portfolio. TAFE is your gateway to online education. Add to your WebMix library services, and at a touch of a button, you're connected to a range of services to assist your learning. A digital library at your fingertips. TAFE is all about you. It's your learning platform. It can be tailored to suit your learning needs, and it's your pathway to a new you. Try one of our course tasters today and get connected.
Okay, and of course, the metaphor of the fellow with his finger in the air, that's actually not what we're producing. Somebody said to me, well, how do I do that? And I just want to say it is a metaphor. The idea is that this learning is cloud-based. We use Web 2 tools. The itafe.net platform itself is free. So you can jump on now and create a free account. So I just want to check with you, who Googled something last week? As I said, who Googled something this morning? So why aren't we doing this in formal education? Why aren't we incorporating what people are doing out there? Okay, so if you have a device with you at the moment, you can go onto itafe.net. Just itafe.net, no www, although that would get you there as well, and no AU on the end. And you can try one of those tasters in the orange boxes there. So if you click on any of those tiles, you can have a little bit of a taste of itafe.net and the quality resources. And by the way, that video that you saw was produced locally by Rolling Ball. They are a media company, a very talented group of young people who've developed a lot of our digital assets. So effectively, we're not just pushing content to learners, we're giving them all this choice through the platform. So I explain it like this: all roads lead to Rome. So if Rome is competency, You can choose many different ways, depending on your learning style, to become competent. You might listen to instructional videos, you might participate with others in Facebook, you might enter a forum and answer some deep questioning, you might liaise with your instructor in one of those VOOC sessions. By the way, that's a VET open online course, which you'll be invited to as a learner, and you can interact and engage with other learners along the way. Or if you're one of those learners who just wants to see what they need to do and go away and do it, you can do that too, because we have what we call assessment rubric to enable you to do that. So you can see what it is to be competent. I hope that I've painted a picture for you today, because I didn't have my PowerPoint presentation, but I'm happy to speak to anybody if I have been a little bit confusing because of that. But I do encourage you to go to itafe.net and create that free account and actually finish one of those tasters. And of course, as I said, the general public anyone can have a personal learning environment. It's a Web 2 tool and it's free, but where the services come in of all those educators there to support you is when you enter the course proper. Okay. Thank you very much for inviting me. Yeah? Sorry? Questions? Yeah. Happy to take questions.
Louise, I'm interested in the idea of evidence for competency, which is at the heart of vocational education and training. What you're saying is this customisation of learning is also about customisation of assessment. So as I understand it, the students in the teacher's class may each produce a very different piece of work to meet those learning outcomes. So the teacher actually needs to be very flexible. It's not that this is the essay question, everybody does this essay.
No.
Plagiarism, I imagine, would be more difficult under this view.
Very much so. Very much so, and thank you for your question. So incorporated into this concept is an e-portfolio. So the idea is if all roads lead to Rome, and I'm somebody who likes to write, I might write a report or an essay and I might upload that. Somebody else might like to demonstrate their competency via video or images or an accompanying annotation. They might record their reflections in a blog. They might participate in a Facebook and a forum and copy those extracts into their e-portfolio, which is itself in the cloud. And when they're ready to have their assessment portfolio judged for competency, they can send that URL link to their assessor, who will provide them with feedback, formative feedback, and a final result as well. So yes, you could have 20 different learners in a learning group with you claiming or submitting evidence in 20 different ways. And that's what that assessment rubric does. It tells you, in plain English, thank heavens, because training packages are very complicated, what you need to be competent. So what we've done, we've turned the training package on its head, and we actually speak to learners through the assessment rubric, so they're common key criteria. Does that help? Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Can you use this in the blended mode?
You can use it in any mode you like, and actually this is a very powerful lifelong learning tool. The reason we chose this platform is because it's easy to use. My 7-year-old has one of these. This is called a web mix that you're looking at. My 7-year-old has a web mix, and she recently created her project. So she found all the things on the web and she created a tile which linked. So those tiles will link. This is not a touch screen. But they will link to each of the resources. So I just tapped on there. So this is one of the tasters. So many of the resources are embedded. So she will collect, and then she might type something in her blog about what she's learnt for her teacher. So she was doing Australian settlement. So she had lots on convicts and things. So she put all those in a tile. So it's that easy to use, and you click and drag things around. The other thing, for those of you who have used an online or participated in an online course before, are there times when you spend all your time trying to learn the technology and less time trying to learn the content? Because the hardest part of the course is the technology. It's really not what the course is about, is it? Okay, but this one is just simple, drag and drop. Okay, so it was designed for school children, so let's just leave it there. And I do know university professors who are using it as well in America. But this is our platform now. And vocational education and training has taken it by the horns and put it on steroids, because there's a whole lot of support in the back end of it as well, such as learner analytics. Yeah.
I just wondered for students with physical disabilities like perhaps hearing or sight impairment especially, in these kind of interactive modules, do they do the text or thing, or are they adaptable for people with disabilities?
Thank you very much for that question. So being a provider of public education, that's at forefront. So you saw the captioning on the first video. Every asset is captioned. We have an Auslan service as well for those who would like that. We have a language literacy and numeracy tool, plus a team of educators who are trained in that area to support learners with all literacy skills. We have all the wonderful services that TAFE has to offer, such as counsellors, librarians, and others to support learners of all abilities. And when you come onto itafe.net, you'll see down here in this other corner, this is the library services available. So this is more or less the front page. So if you go there, you can play a similar video on the types of services that the library offers online. So nobody has to go anywhere. You can actually do everything in the comfort of your own home. Yes?
Just a follow-up question to that was about social equity.
Yes.
In terms of actually having access to stuff. I would imagine students could come to TAFE or to public libraries and do their work.
Yes.
It does TAFE actually have a bank of devices that they hire students or lend to students?
Exactly. And of course, as soon as you become a TAFE student, the world opens up to you. You can go to any TAFE campus, you can use any TAFE library. We're also deeply involved in hubs, digital hubs. We have a digital hub trialling at Gosford campus where that very thing can occur. So if you don't have a device, you can come and use one of ours, and you can use a high-speed broadband, and you can also attend one of those VOOC sessions at the campus if you wish to. And so the answer is yes, we have taken that into consideration. And of course, everything is able to be used on the mobile device. Has anyone successfully opened this at all while we've been speaking? Yeah. Sorry, I thought there was a question over here.
I'm going to ask how many courses are on digitised.
Okay, so being a federally funded project, we are actually in a deployment trial phase. So we have 13 courses and skill sets. They range from management, tourism and events, sustainability, children's services, aged care. And so we're trialling those first, and early indications are that learners are really enjoying it. That the continuum that I was describing to you, from the novice to the independent learner, it's already happening. We had learners in our early sessions who didn't want to touch anything in case they broke it. Now they're in these VOOC sessions and we can't keep them quiet. They keep grabbing the microphone, and so they're interacting and engaging. And another part of this research shows us that they will self-organise into study groups as well, and that's happening too. So they might find that someone's online and they happen to live in the same suburb, so they say, well, let's meet at the local library and form our own little group. So that's positive for us. Yeah. Sorry, have I got time for another one? Another question? Yeah, thank you.
Hi, I was just wondering, in terms of assessment, have you been able to analyse the differences in the
the standards between the online learners and the traditional learners? Has there been any comparison yet? Because I know with university's construction management course, they've got 1,000 students and 50% do their course online, and they've found no difference in the quality of the results. Have you had any?
In that the learners online don't achieve as high results? Yeah. Yeah, our research shows that that's very much the case, and so what we've built into this are those 3 support levels I was talking to you about. It's just like any learner. You can't just put a learner online and think that if they self-pace through materials with limited support and access to educators, that they are going to come out with quality outcomes. It's just not the real world. Online is not a way to save money. It really isn't. It's another way of learning that makes learning accessible to a wider range of people, but you need to support the learners. And truly, if you're looking for educational outcomes for financial reasons, you need to be a little bit more clever about supporting your learners so that the mass attrition rates don't occur that are occurring in online learning at the moment. So we're trialling such a formula. And hopefully the answer to your question will be we are achieving greater outcomes for a number of reasons. Firstly, because it's an individual style as to the choices they make for evidence of learning rather than us pushing at them. So if I have the choice, I'm likely to create something that is meaningful to me, that I enjoy doing, and the likelihood, and I don't know if those of you know, a satisfied learner is more likely to be a successful learner, and the research also shows that that successful learner will move into the workplace, will be a very happy person, will bring that into the workplace with them, and the whole workplace will be better off for that learner's satisfaction way back then, because they'll be truly engaged with their topic and their expertise, or their specialty area, should I say. So we're looking at outcomes and hopefully achieving those through choice and preference. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, and I appreciate your time.